Mhm.
Start summary. Okay,
Street
great.
chat.
Street chat. All right, let's do it.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Check. Oh, wait. Why am I not coming here through now? Why am I
Check,
not
check.
coming through here now? Sorry. When it disconnected.
Yeah.
Check. Let me just make sure it's still recording.
Okay, great.
I'm still coming through here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know why it. Delete. Back to the beginning. All right. You ready?
Yep.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Click.
All right.
1, 2, 3. Clap.
Clap. 1, 2, 3. Clap.
Clap.
Great. You're listening to the Two Gomers podcast, a show about two regular guys in their 40s, embracing midlife, chasing healthy aging, and inviting a nation along for the run. This is episode 403, To Streak or Not to Streak, for March 15th, 2024.
Wait, which episode? What number was the? Oh, I got it. Welcome, everybody, to the 403rd episode of Two Gomers. Dang it. Welcome, everybody, to episode 403 of the Two Gomers podcast. This is Anthony speaking.
Coming to you.
My freaking problem. Welcome, everybody, to the Two Gomers podcast, episode 403. This is Anthony speaking, one of those two aforementioned Gomers, coming to you from Atlanta, Georgia, with my friend Steven, all the way out in Flagstaff, Arizona.
Coming out on March 15th, recording on March 14th, a rare day beforehand record.
Yeah, this is a live to tape. Even though you just heard us, if you're on YouTube, you just heard us record the intro 3 times because I messed it up. But dude, this is live to tape, no edits. Now that we're rolling, now that we're in the red,
Uh-huh.
this is
Yep.
it.
This is it. Now, we always like to prove, like you hold up a newspaper.
Sure.
I just pulled up Google News.
Okay.
The TikTok ban. Oh, something's happened. I don't know if the TikTok ban is happening, but that's in the news. So that's proof. We're still getting this Kate Middleton doctored photo stuff.
We've got doctored photo Kate Middleton chat. We've got what are other things that would prove? Oh, well, this is from yesterday from Chad. Mother of Star Wars child actor Jake Lloyd denies Phantom Menace backlash is why he quit acting. But that came out yesterday.
Yeah, Patty Jenkins is saying she's now back to doing a Star Wars movie. I don't know if that's true. We'll see. There's a lot of Oscars chat we could do. We don't have any time for that.
Right.
But
well, we will.
I mean,
maybe in the Dune episode we're doing next week.
Yes.
So I'm hot off the press from going to see Dune last night with Lily.
Wowzers.
I can not wait to talk about it.
It's a real crying shame we're not doing that episode today.
Maybe Lily and I went to make sure it would be okay for an 8-year-old to go to it because I really like Dune 1. We skipped the torture scene.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Is it okay for an 8-year-old to go to?
Yeah, different people. Let's talk about it on Dune.
Okay,
Let's talk
great.
about it on the Dune episode.
I will tell you, here's a little spoiler. I've seen it twice. I saw it twice opening weekend.
Okay,
I saw
awesome.
it in Flagstaff.
Uh-huh.
And then I saw it in LA on an IMAX theater.
Oh, yes. Okay, good. I'm glad. With Alex
later.
or just by
Nope,
yourself?
just by myself.
Okay, with
a full suitcase. I'll tell that whole story on our Dune episode coming up. Dune Part 2, I should say. And I just I'll spoil it even more. I am extremely high on this movie.
Yeah.
I am like I've gone down a major Dune rabbit hole in the past couple weeks.
Okay, here, let me ask you this. Okay. By the way, this is the Two Gomers podcast, and we're going to be talking about health streaks. Should you streak or not to streak? So if you've tuned in for this,
just in case you're wondering what in the world this podcast is, it is a health podcast. We are going to talk about that stuff. But Dune Part 2, Anthony saw it last night. Here, just say one more thing about it, maybe.
Okay. Well, it's Lily's first legitimate cliffhanger experience.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, we've seen movies and shows where they have a cliffhanger at the end, but she is in on this movie. I'd say
Okay.
12, 13. It's a PG-13. She
Yeah.
is like all in. She was
Okay.
the cut up of the theater. I
Really?
cannot wait to talk about that.
Sweet.
I saw a side of her I've never seen before.
Nice.
So friggin' fun. She
Yep.
was funny. But my question for you is, I can't wait for the next week to talk about it, and I will go before then again.
Yeah. Yeah.
My question for you is, have you read the books?
Yeah. I've read.
And are they fun to read? Are they good?
No, they're not fun to read.
Okay.
I would say no, they're not fun to read. The bad news for Lily is that's the end of the first book. Dune Part 2 is the end of the first book. Now,
okay.
It's
awesome.
doing gangbusters at the movies, so they'll do Dune Part 3, which will probably be Dune Messiah, which is the second book. But they are not fun to read in my opinion. Very dense. Now, she's seen the movies, and so she might be that would probably make it easier to read. But it took me 20 years to read.
Yeah, I thought I remember you telling me that. So as we drove home last night, she was like, because she's all about audiobooks and she also loves reading, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, Daddy, can I have your phone? I want to order, Dune on Amazon, the book.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me ask Steven about it and see if it's like a read for like a 12, 13-year-old, like both appropriateness and.
Yeah, I mean, appropriateness, fine.
Okay.
I would say, I guess, after saying it's not a fun read, I would say if your kid wants to get a book and read it, don't say no.
Right.
Order the book, let her start reading it. If it doesn't work out, that's fine. I still think she should read the last Harry Potter before she reads Dune, but that's my opinion.
She's holding off on that she gets that from me, dude.
Until when? Forever? I mean,
I don't know.
It's not going anywhere.
I told you it took me 30 years to listen to Beethoven 2 and 8 because I was like, I have those morsels. The one day I can hear and play those. Now I've played all the Beethoven symphonies and heard them all and studied them all. So it's like,
yeah.
What else?
So she can read the last book. I don't think we can ever record a Harry Potter episode until she's read the last book. So have you, and you've watched those last movies.
You're right. Okay, now
until that happens, we can't do Harry Potter on Perfect Movie.
Okay, maybe you should text her and say, I was talking to your dad about Dune. I'm putting words in your mouth now. I will buy and send you a copy of Dune. This is me being you.
Yeah. Yep.
Or send your copy if and when you read book 7 of Harry Potter.
There's an ultimatum. Yep.
And
I only give gifts if you do something first.
Right.
I'm happy to buy her Dune. I mean, it's always been kind of my thing, especially when they hit 12 or 13. My kids want to read a book, they can read that book. Like, and it's not like if they can't get through it, that's fine. But man, readers are leaders.
Yeah, totally. And she is a great reader, as is Isla. And I've become one as well. Following in the footsteps of my kids, and Aaron, of course. But and you and lots of other people that like to read books. But would you let kids read like Stephen King?
I curated a list for my younger kids of Stephen King that they could read.
Okay, that was like
And then, once they hit 15, 16, read. You know what I mean? Read what you want.
Got it.
Okay. This is the Two Gomers podcast. We are talking about we're talking about consistency streaks. Health streaks. We've wanted to do this episode for a long time. And so it's a core question one, to streak or not to streak. So we're going to start with Gomer's tips of the week in just a second. We're going to do the core question, to streak or not to streak. Benefits, pros and cons of health, consistency, streaking. And then we're going to end with what's giving us life this week. And of course, a ton of fun stuff along the way. But first, here on the Two Gomers podcast, we want to take big strides toward health. But we know that most of the time, things are simple and small. So now it's time for Gomer's Tip of the Week.
What music do I put in there?
I think it's just the jingle.
Jingle. Okay, got it. All right, let's clap. 1, 2, 3, clap.
Clap. 1, 2, 3, clap.
Clap.
All
All
right.
right, here we are
Oh.
in Gomer's tip of the week. Steven, you texted me before
Yes.
we started, dude, is it cool if we do a Gomer's tip instead of a baby step? And I said, absolutely, I've got one. But what were you thinking? Why did you do that?
Well, it's because, and this is sort of like a combo of what's giving me life and a Gomer's tip of the week. We're watching through one of my favorite shows in the past decade, Joe Pera Talks to You. Or was it with
Yeah.
you? I think maybe it's Joe Pera Talks with You.
Yep.
Just a quirky show on, you can find it on Max.
Mm-hmm.
It originally was on HBO Max, but that's no more. Now it's Max.
No, it's just Max. Okay.
Oh, cool.
And why doesn't the old app work? That's so dumb. Why
Give
did
me
they
a
do that?
break with these
Just
streaming services.
just keep on it. Just change the look of it, or bypass it to the other .net website, whatever. It's like, oh no, you have to download another app, but the other one's just going to stay there, and you're going to always load it on accident.
And then I have to call my sister, ask for her password again.
No, totally.
And try to remember, am I the one who pays for this? Is Alex or is Julie?
Right. Keep on it. Don't do that, people. That's not, you're not supposed to do that.
Joe Pera, the conceit of Joe Pera is that he's just kind of a guy who lives in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan and is doing like a kind of mini documentary series, but actually it becomes something much more about his life. And so fun that we got to the episode about the grocery store. I would say maybe it's one of his best episodes, and probably if you want a gateway into this show, well, you got to start at the beginning. But if you just want a taste of it, there's an episode he does, kind of a love letter to the grocery store, that is so friggin' good. And he has 3 tips on how to buy stuff at the grocery store that are not my tips, but I was like, I gotta share them on the podcast. They're so good.
Nice.
And so here are the tips, and I've been using them. He goes shopping, and we talk about the grocery store a lot in this section.
Yeah,
right?
We love this.
You were really big on self-checkout.
I love self-checkout, but I also love talking to the ladies at it's usually ladies at Publix that do the bagging and do the or do the checking out. Yep, totally.
Yeah. And then we talked about bagging in order, right? Of unbagging at home.
Yeah. So when you bag yourself at the self-checkout, you can put it in a freezer bag, you can put it in a dairy bag, you can put it in a pantry
We've
bag.
also talked about shopping the perimeter.
Yep.
We've talked about grocery stores for so long on this. It's a staple conversation piece on the podcast. And so when I see somebody else kind of going for it with tips on the grocery store, I'm loving it. So here are the 3 tips that Joe Pera had about what he buys or doesn't buy at the grocery store. He asked himself 3 questions.
Got it.
The first question is, will I eat this food?
Okay.
The second question is, should I eat this food? And the third one is, can I afford this food? So, and if it's yes to all 3, he buys it.
Okay.
And then he gives himself 1 food that it can be only 2 yeses for.
Okay, so like 1 special treat.
Yes. Yep. And usually the no is should I.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna be like, so you buy 1 thing you won't eat.
Yep.
You buy 1 thing you shouldn't eat and 1 thing you can't afford.
You can't afford. No, that's not what it is. It's just one of those.
Okay.
And usually it's like a tub of ice cream. Like, should I eat this? Maybe not. But will I eat it 100%? And tubs of ice cream are pretty affordable. And so can I afford it? Yes. And so it was just such a fun way to think about it. And also, I think that when you and I were talking about self-checkout, those kind of questions are more on, it's like mindful shopping.
Yeah, right.
Right? That if you don't have some sort of system and then you kind of go all the way out from start to finish without even thinking about it. Then you get
Mhm.
home, and for me, and we were talking about this on the episode last time, for me, it's the will I that trips me up. And so you end up buying
Interesting.
a bunch of vegetables, maybe mostly.
Yeah, I know that you end up like bananas. That's another classic. I should eat it. I can't afford it. I probably won't eat it. Right?
So we end up with, it's funny you say bananas, we end up with like black bananas.
Yep.
And so
I know.
Jessica will freeze those because they're great for making banana breads. But
Yep.
then we have like a freezer full of black bananas.
I know. So you're throwing away like bananas from a year ago to make room for your
Exactly.
new bananas that
Right.
you're freezing.
I have too many black bananas. And so then
Yep.
there's a rotation in your freezer. So will I
Yep.
eat this food? Should I eat this food? Can I afford this food? Thank you, Joe Pera. It's been a great tip for me.
Mm.
In healthy shopping, mindful shopping, I love it. So that's my Gomer's tip of the week.
Wow. Dude, that was amazing.
All
I
right,
have
dude.
not seen that episode yet,
Ooh,
but
it's
I'm
good.
looking forward to seeing
Second
it.
season.
Okay. So we've only watched the first season, and I would
Okay.
just say the one about breakfast rules.
Mm-hmm.
The first episode, of course, rules about
Yeah.
him selling his house. Just
Breakfast at the restaurant. Is that what you're talking about?
yeah,
Beautiful episode. I mean, there is
yeah.
an episode in the second season where I bawl when I watch it,
Mm.
and I think you will too because it's going to hit you hard
I
in a certain feels.
I
And
probably will.
it is a beautiful show. I know it doesn't
Yep,
sound like a beautiful show, but it is a truly beautiful show that people
I
should
agree.
watch. Yeah.
The sleeping one.
Oh
We love
my
the sleeping
gosh,
one.
the
We love the
sleeping
sleeping
one.
one.
I could watch that every night.
Yep. And then have you heard his podcast? Like his
Mm-hmm.
sleeping
Yes,
podcast?
sleeping podcast, and we are going to see him live in July. He's going to be in Tempe.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
nice.
all right, dude. You
Fun.
got a tip? Sorry, I took
Yeah,
a lot of
well,
time. You got a quick one, maybe?
no, it's fine. I'm partner to pivoting. I was gonna do a tip, and I'm gonna just push it to next week.
Okay.
I'm gonna pivot now. Another grocery one.
Yeah.
I've had this on my list forever, and
Okay,
I
great.
just haven't been able to share it.
Great.
So,
Let's stay
dude,
with the theme then. I love this.
yep, self checkout,
Yep.
self bagging, so you can set it up for
Mm-hmm.
unpacking when you get home.
Mm-hmm.
Nice and easy.
Yeah.
Now, the thing that we discovered fairly recently, within the last 6 months, is,
Uh-huh.
dude, our self checkout line, at least at Publix, has a price gun, dude.
I just got goosebumps. Price gun
Yeah, dude.
changed my life when it
Yeah,
comes to
dude.
self checkout.
We've used it at Home Depot for years. I mean, Home Depot is basically all self checkout at this point.
Have you ever
Uh,
walked out of the store with the price gun at Home Depot? I've done that
yeah.
twice, but
How
that's because
much for
I'm there
this?
so often.
Right.
No, just by accident. I just put it in my put it in my like
I could.
cart and just walk out with it. And then I have to bring it back in.
Yep. That could happen so
Hmm.
easily. And you're like the wild, wild west, or like,
Oh yeah, it's
doing.
fun.
It's so fun.
The price gun is fun. It's also fast.
Well, so that's the thing. So
Mm,
I do my all my shopping. I'm gonna
mm.
totally use this matrix, which rules.
Okay.
And I actually want to put more thought into this. And I think we should almost do a whole episode about grocery shopping because
Okay,
we talk
great.
about it so much, and we can just put all of our tips in it.
Good
Uh,
idea.
but I load up my cart,
Mm-hmm.
and then sometimes it's got charcoal in it, for your grill,
Too
or
heavy.
too heavy. Pick that up, or beer, soda,
Some sort
whatever.
of 12 pack or 24 pack
Oh,
that's on you put that on the in the bottom of the cart, like
yep,
underneath everything. You don't want to pick that up.
right.
Ew.
Or pallets of water.
Ugh.
Sometimes, right, when we're
I
gonna
mean,
have a
I'm not saying that these are bad things. I'm just saying when
right,
you've got to scan it across that thing, get
yep,
real.
right. But you take this, you go to the wild, wild west, and you grab that price gun, and dude, you just like all throughout your cart,
Yeah.
and then you can do your special bagging. But man, price gun, especially if you've got an 8-year-old or a 12-year-old that wants to
Mm-hmm.
help out. It's so
Mm-hmm.
fun.
Perfect.
Dude, self-checkout plus price gun,
Uh,
ridiculous. I mean, we're now in the future, dude. And now I have the American Express tap as you go card.
mm-hmm.
And so like don't even, you just like tap my little money clip on there, boom.
Tap tap taparoo. Yeah.
Amazing.
I,
Taparoo.
I mean, we are at the peak of society. We've
This
arrived.
is it. This is it, dude. And you don't have to interact with another human. No, we love interacting with humans. We talked about that a while ago. Still go and see your nice
Well, even when
people at
I'm at the
Publix.
self checkout, I'll thank the person standing there, right? And
Oh,
I'll try
there's
to make a
always
little
somebody
bit of
there.
conversation. And
Yeah.
now that you got that price gun, there's things to talk about with your neighbor.
Yep. Like, man, did you know they have a price gun? No way, really? Check it out. Bup, 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 bup. It changed people's lives.
Great tip. Well, there,
Love it.
there you go, nation. A theme, more
Mm-hmm.
grocery tips, and I'm sure more to come.
Yeah, I think so. Now that I go through this matrix, I can't wait to report back.
All right, let's head over to the core.
All right, let's do it. All right, let's clap.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, clap.
Clap. 1, 2, 3, clap.
Clap. Hey, how's it going over there? Wondering if you guys are doing health streaks or if you're kind of doing every now and then ups and downs, How's it going? I could use some help. Oh yeah.
Do you think to streak or not to streak is going to get us a lot of clicks? Is that some
Right.
clickbait?
Clickbait. So I was looking up streaking online to
Uh-huh.
research for this, looking up podcasts.
Google image search streak.
Google image streaking. Don't do that. Actually, I didn't do that because I was like, that's just dumb and funny. Yep. So this was actually, it's a hard thing to find.
Sure.
This is actually hard to find.
And it was a hard question to ask on our survey because you can't say, "Do you like streaking?" Pardon
Right.
me. Because oh, hey, speaking of the Oscars, did you see John Cena came out naked?
I saw that in my feed. I actually didn't watch the Oscars. I was on a plane.
Oh, okay.
And it was hard to watch because we don't have TV, dude.
Yeah, I had to sign on to Hacks YouTube TV to watch it.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's not the John Cena at the Oscars. That's not the kind of streaking we're talking about. We are talking about consistent, and I would say nowadays, app-based.
Right.
When you do something over and over again as a motivation to continue to do that thing. I don't think that's a very good definition, what I just said, but like the examples that we gave on the question that we asked about this, that we had Lindsay ask, right, on social media, was like, does doing a health streak, in quotes, and then in parentheses explaining that, right? Which was like, either like a running streak on an app or an exercise streak or consistency in your rings. I know that calorie counting is one of these things. There's other kinds of streaks that we've talked about on the podcast. Does that help in a midlife health journey or not? Does it motivate or not is the question that we're trying to answer, or at least dig down into during this episode.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've got my Bible app.
Right. We've talked about that before.
The top right, it's got your streaks.
Yeah.
And I mean, so I've got that. We've got the rings on our Apple Watches.
The rings. Yep.
I've done run streaks before. We've done run streaks before. That's one thing that I did. I mean, back in the Cleveland days, right? Like the 1 mile a day streak.
Yep. Yes.
I mean, even when you open up the Bible app, that's got the little lightning at the top, and it says streaks help you build your daily Bible habit.
Is the lightning
same thing with the rings?
A streak image? Because I see that also on Be Real. I've seen it in other places that when it's a streak, there's a little lightning bolt. I guess that makes sense. It's a bolt of lightning, not a streak. I guess it could be a streak of lightning.
Streak, bolt. I mean, so when I was doing some research, I found the Streaks app in Apple It's the Apple Design Award winner.
Uh-huh.
$5.99. I didn't buy it, but I'm just looking at it right now. It
Yeah.
says the habit forming to-do list. $5.99. Some of the streaks it recommends are walk the dog, floss your teeth, eat healthily, practice
Okay.
Spanish. No hablo español.
Well, those, I mean,
Uh,
that's pretty good. I like this, where it doesn't have to be just a physical exercise or a like dietary streak.
Sorry. I'm just reading further.
Well, I could tell Anthony's not listening to what I'm saying right now.
I'm doing exactly what you shouldn't do, which is look at a phone while somebody's talking to you. I'm so sorry.
Well,
I'm
and
just
we've
gonna
also got
confess.
recording a podcast on top of that. So it's so hard, listener, it's so hard to do this
Well,
and be
but
completely present. I get it. Don't worry about it. I'm
no,
looking up
no,
streak.
dude.
I just Googled streak of lightning, which is a thing, a flash of
So,
lightning, like lightning
oh,
streaks across the sky. So that might be why that image is attached to some of these apps that have a streak component to them.
right. Sure.
You're talking
Well,
about is specifically the app is a streak
yeah,
counter.
that's what I was looking
Okay.
up is to see if it had any lightning bolts, and it
Oh,
doesn't.
okay. Interesting. All
that
right.
I see.
Good
That's what I
research.
was looking for. But dude, one thing you can do on this app, this
Uh-huh.
is not paid. We haven't even tried it. Okay.
No, could
It
suck.
is award winning. So
Okay.
you can set, it says some tasks aren't for every day. Set the days so you don't break your streak. So you
Okay.
could set up.
Let's get back to that in some of the
I
listener
love.
feedback because I think
Okay. Yeah.
that might be the answer to all of our problems.
Well, I mean, the thing that killed me, my two best streaks were the Bible app and closing my rings.
Yeah.
And one day,
Mm-hmm.
my streaks on the app were so good, and then I didn't check one day, and it ruined it.
Okay.
Right, and so
Um,
this says you could set it.
I
Yeah, so we'll get
love it.
back to
And
that.
it should be
We'll get back
something
to that.
that's on every app. So just let me
Yeah,
say, I think the impetus for me, because we've talked about streaks a lot and whether they're helpful or not, the
yeah.
peg for me on this episode is I hit a major milestone in my closing my ring streak.
Oh, right. And we didn't talk about this because we had to reschedule this episode, and I'm super mad.
I hesitate to
And
talk about this. I
you,
tiptoe into this conversation
yeah, you see, you
with
said you
much
weren't gonna do
trepidation.
that. You said you weren't gonna do that.
I never said that. I said I would think about it.
Yeah, but
I
then we
said,
never
should
talked about
I?
it.
But then we
I'm
never talked
actually
about it
mad,
again.
listener. Actually mad.
Okay, so
No, it's
I
don't worry
know
about it,
I
but I
knew
am a
this
little
coming
bit
in.
mad.
I know you are. It's okay to be a little bit mad,
I know
but
you are, but what am
man,
I?
I gotta live my best life. Uh,
Totally.
so you're right. We did push this back quite a bit because the Impress episodes became 2 episodes, and we didn't want to
Right.
do 2 questions in a row. And so, um, in January, I crossed the 500 mark,
Right.
500-day mark on my rings. Y'all, he's mad. He's mad right now. He's mad at me.
Well, it wasn't my fault that I was at 498 and then
But
tore my calf
listen,
muscle. But then you said you were going to get to 498 and not do it for a day so we could start fresh together. You said that,
I
dude.
said I would think about it.
I know, but did you think about it and did we talk about it?
I thought about it and I thought, nah. Um,
Oh, that is
so
so mean.
right now, today, if I close my rings today, I will be at 541.
Oh man. Wow.
So
I'll never catch up.
no, so okay, Anthony, here's part of why I did it.
Yep.
Because I think this exposes something negative about the streak.
Sure.
So here if I'm going to do a thesis on the pros and cons of streaks, it is this. Pro, it's amazing when I'm doing it and it completely motivates me.
Right.
Con, if I miss a day, I feel friggin' defeated. It's like
Oh yeah.
and so that I think has always been the balance is like it is super helpful for me when I'm doing it.
Yep.
And when I'm not, it's kind of demotivating and I'm not quite sure what to do with that.
Well, I would go way further than demotivating. It's
Okay.
derailing. Uh
Completely derailing. Yeah,
it's
I
completely
agree.
derailing. I mean, I just
Yep.
wrote down Wordle. Like I had a killer Wordle streak
Mhm.
for a long time. And then one day I didn't do it. And I was like, screw it. Probably haven't done Wordle since. I did Wordle like a week ago because somebody told me what it was and I wanted to get it in one just for fun. And like,
Are you caught up on Curb at all?
no.
Oh, there's some Wordle stuff in the new season
Oh,
that is
nice.
so funny.
Nice.
It's a little dated. I mean,
Yeah.
for him to be doing Wordle material. But yeah,
Yeah.
Wordle, that is like, I hadn't thought of Wordle as streaking, but that is maybe like a major thing that people streak is games on their phone.
Sure. So that's the only game I've ever like regularly played on my phone.
Right.
I used to do that as part of, like some quiet time in the morning, a walk, time with my dog,
Uh-huh.
Wordle,
Yep.
like a little time for my brain.
Me time.
Yeah, a little me. I mean, what is it that's so fun about Wordle?
Wordle's good. I mean, they
Although
figured it out.
the other day it was heave.
Ooh, what a word.
That was a great word, and I didn't get it
Oh no.
because my first. Who cares? Okay, Wordle stories are so dumb. Never mind. I was just gonna tell you a Wordle story. I
Can
got
I
the
ask
first word
can
and
I
it was
ask
letter 3 and 5. And so then
Yeah,
I
wow,
had 3 and
how
5 in a
thrilling.
row. Oh my gosh.
Like Wordle stories and dream stories, I just kind of
I
check
know.
out when anybody's telling me that. But with Wordle, I don't remember. I don't do Wordle anymore. Not because I don't like it, but maybe it was the same issue as like, I can't remember about a Wordle streak. Do you have to actually get the word? Or do you have to just play it
Oh, just play.
to get a
Well,
streak?
see, I get frustrated sometimes with Wordle and I'll just throw in words just to test letters.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this word isn't even close, but I just want to know if it has a U in it. You know, like,
I've got a hankering for a U this
yeah, I'd
morning.
like to buy a vowel. There's no opportunity for that.
No.
Yeah, so I don't know. I rarely didn't get it, but I didn't
Yeah.
get heave, and that's because I got frustrated and I put in random crap.
You got mad at Wordle.
I got mad at
Your
Wordle.
streaks make you mad all over the place. Um, I, okay, so Wordle, you miss a day in Wordle, and you're like, never again. Do you
Yep.
think that consciously? Like, is this like a well, screw it then, or is it just like, all right, I'm done with that for now.
Well, okay, so that this is at the crux of the thing. So
Good.
when I am a thought. Now we got a comment from a listener, and I'm so sorry I can't remember who it was. It was years ago.
Uh-huh.
Somebody was like, streaks like give me the cold sweats, or streaks
Yep.
like are like triggering or something like that.
Yes.
Because I want to do it because I want to do it, not for the streak, right?
It becomes about the task
Yeah.
instead of about bettering oneself, right?
Yeah, or about checking it off a list instead of for the
Mm-hmm.
love of the game.
And then for
Uh
people that are struggle with performance-based stuff, right? Or like
yeah.
um guilt and shame, that we've had several listeners say that over the years, that it works against them because it
Yeah.
kind of triggers some of their unhealth.
Yeah. No,
And
and
I can
I
totally see that.
yeah, I was kind of joking, but you're absolutely right. Like like all the way back to your sermon about, having a heavy yoke on you
Mm-hmm.
that's
Mm-hmm.
just ill-fitting and hurts to carry, and it's a streak list or an atomic habit list
Mm-hmm.
or something like that can be an uneasy yoke, to use, the analogy
I
of
agree.
something that weighs you
It's
down.
just
Yeah,
another weight. And it
right.
usually to me, I don't know if it is this, but it like fires the guilt
Yep.
things in my mind, right?
Yeah,
I don't know if
for
it's
sure.
exactly guilt and shame, but it feels like that in my mind. Um,
Right.
Now, I'm saying that right after I said I have a 541-day streak with my rings,
Yeah.
right? So there must be some benefit to me. Um, and so we did ask this question and we got some listener feedback and it was kind of split. yes,
Yeah.
it's good,
Let me
and no,
boot that up.
nah.
Let me boot
Um,
that up without looking at my phone while you're talking.
um, so like Kathleen said, nah,
Nah.
because of recovery days. You need recovery days on some of this stuff, right?
Right.
Um, Gene said, I don't focus on streaks, I focus on averages because anxiety over losing streaks was a thing for him.
Mm-hmm.
I
Maybe
think
it was
that's
Gene
what we're
that wrote us
talking
that.
about. It could be like,
Yeah.
why add more anxiety to my life?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Now, both Chris and Scott said, yeah, they're motivating to me.
Mm-hmm.
A streak can motivate me because of personality. Chris, in particular, said, yeah, my personality just matches up with a streak, right? And then
Yep.
Scott, Eat the Frog Schneider,
Yep.
said it really helps him build consistency. Is it allowed for me to say I agree with everybody? I don't know.
Hmm. Well, it could be, you agree with everybody for them.
Yep,
You know what I
that's
mean?
true.
Like it's this could fall into the know thyself category.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I think it could fall into the know thyself category. I think it could also fall into is this an upstream or a downstream practice for you category.
Yeah, that's
So
good. Yep.
if like I think I'm not able to keep a lot of streaks, but I
Yep.
love doing them.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh, so but it's hard for me to do them. So it's kind of like an upstream practice, but it is life giving when I actually do it.
Yeah. Yeah, so okay, how about this? This isn't in my notes, but like
Okay.
last episode with the have a good evening, something
Yeah.
seemed to click in the app when we started talking about the why.
Hmm.
Like, so
Yep.
you have a good evening so you can set up a good night of sleep, so you can have a good morning, so you can have a good day. The why is I want to be present in my day,
Yeah.
give, serve, love. That's who I want to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think the why with a streak for me, if I'm gonna like reverse engineer it,
Mm-hmm.
I want to be a consistent person and I want to be
Yep.
healthier, right?
Right.
And so I love my 541 day streak on my rings.
Yep.
And I didn't stop at 499. There was a reason for it. I love seeing that number because I can say there's a reason I have that number, which is to get that um it's basically a calorie burn goal, right?
Yep.
Um an exercise goal. That means I exercised in
Yep.
some way for 541 days.
Yep.
And to get to that, I usually have to either run or bike that day.
Right.
And so that means for 541 days, I've done cardio exercise, which they say is key to all sorts of health benefits,
Yep.
mentally and physically. Longevity, right?
Totally.
Skin, the glow that we've talked about before, right?
Right.
And so a health streak like that, I would say, I want to be honest here, really is 75% good intention. I want to be healthier. And it's 25%. I like to be able to say it.
Right.
I got to be honest that I do like looking at that and saying, yeah, this says something about me.
Sure.
Is that bad? I don't know if that's bad, but
Well,
like,
okay, so do you like this is something I've been really thinking about a lot. Do you
mhm.
like to say it to other people or say it to yourself?
I like to say it to myself. I don't hate saying it on the podcast.
I sort of do when you say it.
I know you do. I know you do. One of us can hate it, one of us can love it. That's fine. Um, I and if people ask me, I don't hate saying it to them, but I rarely. I mean, it's for me, right? It
Oh,
it
totally. Yes.
I want to be a consistent person. I want to be faithful. We talk about this so much, right? And so it means a lot to me personally to have that goal, and to hit it every day, and to have hit it every day for over 500 days.
Yeah. Well, so
Uh,
that's in
I
the
think that's
Atomic
okay.
Habits,
Mm-hmm.
where, every time you do the habit, you're placing a vote towards the person or the character or the, integrity that you want to be or
Mm-hmm.
have, right? So
Yeah.
so every time close those rings,
Mm-hmm.
you're reminding yourself, like, I am a consistent person,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so
Yep.
that's why it's super awesome and super important. Um, and I absolutely love that. And I'm mostly just jabbing at you for fun.
Of course. It's fine. And even if it's
Right.
not for fun, I get why it's hard. Is that okay
Well,
for me to
I
say?
mean, let's
I don't
let's
know.
remind people what happened. I was at 498, and I was like, dude, I'm with you. I was friggin' proud of that crap.
Yes.
And I mean, so like, here's why streaks rule. Is I did so many things in that 498 days to better my health
Uh-huh.
and to make sure I closed those rings. And sometimes did things like you have to make sacrifices
Yep.
for that to happen. So
Oh yeah.
like as an example, we were going to drive one time, one of the harder days was driving to Wisconsin or driving
Mm-hmm.
to Atlanta from Wisconsin during the summer.
Those are
So I
I
had,
would say travel days are the absolute hardest days to close your rings on. You're sitting.
yep, you're just sitting.
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember I had to go out for a super long walk the
Uh-huh.
morning before we drove for 13 hours,
Yeah.
and people had to sit around and wait for me. You know what I mean? So it wasn't only a sacrifice for me, but it was a sacrifice for other
Everybody
people.
suffers for your
Yeah,
streak.
for this dumb streak. And this is where Gene is totally right. Is it's like, who cares? Well, that he
Uh-huh.
didn't say it like that, but it's like
No.
you're just doing it for the dumb streak. I wasn't like I was kind of mad even while doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, good gosh dang it. Like I'm walking around hometown USA. Everybody's waiting for me. People think the streak is dumb,
Yeah.
and but I was really proud of it.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that was one of the harder days, but the drive was awesome because I'm like looking at my watch and I'm seeing the green one's closed and the red one's halfway closed.
Yeah.
Uh, stuff like that. For me, what happens then is when I lose a streak.
Yeah.
It's like I lose the will to live. No, not really. But
But
like
there
I
is a loss of
lose.
will for sure,
Oh,
right?
there's a complete. It is like a complete derailment, dude.
Yeah.
Like I had what I don't know, something like 60 or 70 days of lose it.
Mm.
And then we did something.
Mm.
Or and then like I'll do like 2-3 days max.
Mm-hmm.
Or last year, right, I did my dry 100
Right. Yeah.
and it
Yep.
was like super easy. There were some difficult times every now and then,
Yeah.
but it was like, nope, I'm on this streak and I don't even think about it.
Okay. Yeah. But
And
when
then
you're
as soon
off,
as the streak's over, it's like, oh, I only, I'm going to have a beer on the Sabbath. And then it's like, well, I'll have a beer after a concert. And then it's like, well, I had a concert yesterday.
uh-huh.
So, and I don't have a streak going. So whatever. You know what I mean? Like that
Yep,
is
I
what
do.
like I get totally derailed. And it's, and this is why streaks are great, but
Mm-hmm.
why streaks are also horrible because like if I'm not on one,
Yeah.
I don't. It's almost like I'm aimless or
Mm-hmm.
something.
So what how is this? I'll just say this about myself. Aimlessness is just a reality in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And so streaks are a way for me to actually battle against that.
Yep.
Um and I one of my major goals and slogan is that no, mantra in my life
Mantra. There we go.
is
Yep.
long obedience in the same direction, right?
Yep.
So when
Totally.
I look at my 541, I say that's a way I'm doing that. You can't rush a 541-day streak. It takes 541 days.
Nope. To use the Dallas Willard language, you train, not try.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the
And so,
only way to get to the long obedience in the same direction.
right.
Training, not trying.
And you can't rush it,
Right.
especially if it's a daily streak. And I think that's flawed. And I think that's probably where we end this conversation, which is I think the daily streak is inherently flawed. And maybe there's a better way to do a streak.
Sure.
But in my constant, and it is, I feel like, a battle against my aimlessness.
Yep.
Hold on. My GarageBand just stopped for some reason. Disk too slow. Shut up.
Oh man, hold on. Let me stop mine at 45. Do you know how long ago it stopped?
44:51.
Oh, great. Okay, go to 45. I really don't want to spend a lot of time editing this one.
I know. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay because mine, I just cleaned off my computer, so now it's not doing that anymore.
Okay.
Do you have a lot of apps open?
No, I don't.
That's okay. I'm so glad you noticed though.
Yep. I don't know what I was saying because for some reason it's not coming through my earphones.
You were talking about daily streak versus like maybe heading away from the daily streak.
Should we just do that? Should we just head that and close the conversation? Oh, no, it's a battle against my aimlessness is what I was going to say.
There we go. Okay, great.
Okay. All right.
I was
I'm
like,
ready.
it was
Right
going really, you had a really good flow. I was like, don't lose it.
Yep, I know. Okay,
No problem.
great.
Are you at 45?
Yep.
Okay, let's start there. 1, 2, 3, click. Let's clap. 1, 2, 3, clap.
Clap. 1, 2, 3, clap.
Clap.
So it's a battle against aimlessness. And I'm always looking for ways to battle against that. Because aimlessness usually equals unhealth for me.
Sure.
And so with that reality, and I know streaks aren't perfect, I think overall they are helpful for me. So I don't know if we do you have anything else to say about that before we kind of talk about what I think we're circling around as maybe a possible solution to this?
Some practicals.
Yeah.
Let me see. I was kind of thinking about streaks that we've done, like we've woken up every day of our lives. Probably.
You mean streaks that just happen?
Yep. Natural streaks. Like
natural streaks. Yeah.
I guess we probably haven't woken up maybe 4 or 5 times.
We talked about this in the morning one, I think. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
But almost every day has a morning. Every day you go to the bathroom multiple times.
Yep. And I know people keep records of that too, right? To check on their health.
Well, I've had to do food journals and that kind of stuff for doctors before.
Yep. Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Who wants to read that?
How fun.
He even talks about it on Member City Slickers. He's like,
yep.
You tell me about all his movements. So like, I know I thrive on deadlines in a streak.
Yeah, you said that.
It's kind of like that. I'm also a natural procrastinator.
Yeah, but when you have structure, that helps that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, we're beating around the same freaking thing that we always do.
Yeah.
It's almost like a streak is a powerful tool again. Like we've got, I feel like the Gomers, we're just putting all these tools in our toolbox.
Yep. Yeah.
We're trying to figure out how to use them best. So how can 100%. Streaks, so the why that you talked about, and then how can streaks serve us for our health and we don't become servants of the streak?
Yeah.
Or something.
And that I think is where I think an answer for me would be something that it seems like some of these apps are doing, the one that you just read.
Right.
And Runkeeper this month in March, instead of a streak goal, that you can sometimes sign up for these monthly goals. It was
Mm-hmm.
a run. I think it's 3 times a week goal for the month of March.
Okay, so I'm again looking at that app,
Yeah.
the Streaks app, and this is what it says: is some tasks aren't for every day. I read this earlier. Set the days so you don't break your streak. So, for example, it says walk to work is a streak, and you can
hmm
set it Monday to Friday.
Why don't all streak apps do a work day option? Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like that is because your work days are so different than your weekends. Uh, so m- I want to pitch this to anyone listening that's in charge of any of these apps. There
Yep.
needs to be an averages, like Gene said,
Yep.
option. There needs to be like a times a week option. That I feel like just saying that makes me feel freer
Oh yeah.
and not
I mean,
like and not like tied even you were saying this yourself like sometimes I'm like I can't go one single day on the rings
right.
and so even on travel days sometimes I feel like I'm inconveniencing myself and other people to do that because I don't want to break it but if it was a 5 day a week thing
Mm,
I really believe I could do that for the rest of my life and never break it.
yep.
Inevitably, I'm going to break this rings goal one day.
Well, your watch is gonna die,
Yup.
or you're gonna. I mean, that's happened to us. Is I've gotten like another 30-day streak, and I forget to charge my watch, or
Yeah.
it died in the middle of an exercise, and then I was like, screw it,
Yeah.
or whatever.
I dove into a lake and it ripped off my arm,
Oh, right.
my watch, and then that's why my streak isn't longer because I lost my
Yep.
stupid watch in a lake.
Right.
That that doesn't mean I was unhealthy for a week. It's just I
Right.
lost the piece of technology. But if like it was a little bit more relaxed, and maybe I just need to download this Streaks app that we discovered while we're recording this podcast. It
Well,
just seems like such a better way to go physically, mentally, and like you're saying, your will doesn't get completely blasted every time you break it.
yep. I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna download this. Maybe we should use Gomer Money. We can both try it.
Okay, let's do it.
Uh,
Yeah, we'll do it.
but I mean, like the cover art for it has a run. It has don't smoke. It says eat a healthy meal,
Ooh, don't smoke. I can do
walk
that.
the dog, brush your
Mm-hmm.
teeth. You can set it up. Here were a couple examples.
Yeah.
Call your parents every Wednesday.
Okay.
You
So
do that
you
on
you set
Sundays.
I do that on Sundays. You can set your own thing and that does I bet you they have like a lot of options
Oh yeah. I
of
mean,
what to
I'm
streak
looking at the
for, but
task,
like
specific days, number of days per week, number of days per month, every 2 days,
mm,
etc. I mean, this thing looks, and you can sync it with your watch. Dude, this thing looks tasty.
okay, let's download it. Let's do a Zoom handshake and let's
Mm.
download it.
Mm-hmm.
Um and let's try it out and we can report after a couple months of using this app.
Yeah.
I love it.
Because I mean, so two things that I was thinking about this. One is in the Bible app,
Mhm.
which is my most consistent app, with the
Okay.
exception of notes and texts and
You should
the
do
well,
a random notes streak. I mean, it would probably be like thousands of days long.
dude, me entering stuff into the notes app, my streak on that is thousands. I mean, since day one of owning a phone in 2008 or something like that.
Texting
Uh,
yourself streak.
yep. But here's just two thoughts on that. One, it does have a week streak,
Okay.
which
Love.
so we talked about this a long time ago, but so I
Yes, we
broke
did.
it that one day, but
hmm
I still have almost 5 years of perfect weeks.
And
And
honestly, you should be proud of that. That is long obedience in the same direction without it being so stringent that if you miss a day, your will is blasted out of existence, right? Like this is how it
right.
should be.
Well, and then the my second thought on this, dude, is the streak didn't, not being pious here, the streak bummed me out, but it didn't derail me
Okay.
on this.
Okay. Interesting.
And I think it's fun. Like, it's fun that it's there.
Yeah.
But I think the big one on that is the why is like the ultimate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this, I don't give a rip about telling you or anybody else.
It's just
It's
you're
like
doing
I need it
this.
for my soul.
Yep. Yep. The why is so strong
Yeah.
that streak or no streak, that's pretty insignificant to the why.
Right.
And so, like, I really liked what you were saying. Like, we have all these tools, and I think this podcast offers a lot of tools to listeners. And
Mm-hmm.
so you use the tool in whatever way helps you. And a lot of times a streak is really helpful for me. And
Yep.
if I'm realizing that one doesn't help, it's causing me anxiety, it's causing me guilt, I should probably stop.
Hmm.
I really think there's something to a non-daily streak being a big help to me in the future.
Yeah, dude. We should share what streaks we want to put in there.
Okay,
I
great.
think that would actually make a fun, like, Patreon episode. Is like, let's talk through what do we want to streak and how consistently. Because I would
I
love
love it.
to
Perfect
run
streak.
2 to 3 days a week. I would love a perfect. Yeah, like like a bonus to this would be like, what are the streaks?
Yeah. Okay, good idea. All right, let's write that down. But for now, that's what we've got for you. That's our answer to the question. Use the streak to streak or not to streak. Use the tool in whatever way helps best.
Sweet.
All
Use
right,
the
dude.
tool. Don't be a tool. I don't know.
Perfect. Use the tool. Don't use the tool. All right, let's go on to what's making us happy. No, wait. What's giving us life this week?
All right, let's do it.
Great.
Let's clap. 1, 2, 3, clap.
Clap. 1, 2, 3, clap.
Clap.
All right, here we are in what's giving us life this week. Anthony, you want to start?
Sure, dude. All right, what's giving us life? Want to always remember something that's fun for the week or for the month, something we're grateful for, something that made us super happy. And I just did a week-long tour out to California.
That's right.
You and I were within probably 50 miles of each other for the week.
Probably within 20 miles at some points.
Yeah.
Wow, but we never saw each other.
I know. But we saw each other 2 weeks before that, so.
That's right. Yep.
I would put on what's giving me life, like fusion tacos, like just, you know, I mean, we did fish tacos, we did Gangnam style tacos, we did banh mi tacos, we did, I mean, the fusion cuisine in LA and Santa Barbara and like,
I mean, what a food city, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible.
It's so amazing. That's not what it is, though. So I shot a text out to Gomer3. Hey,
my
Al.
brother, Alex. Yep. Hey, Al. You said, hey, Al.
I texted him, hey, Al. And I was like, dude, I'm going to be in your area for the next week. These are the 4 nights I have shows. You know, I texted him. I think I said, I'd love to even just give you a hug.
Aww.
And
that's not sarcastic, what I just did. That's real sweet.
Yeah. I was like, if we can just do that, that'd be amazing. You pass by at the airport. And he wrote back pretty quickly because I sent him some screenshots of my itinerary.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I'll come to this concert and then I'll pick you up and then you can stay at my house and then we can record a Seriously episode and then I'll bring you to the next venue in Santa Barbara. Like,
wait, did that all happen?
Like, and he's like, oh, and I just bought tickets to go to your concert. So I was like, all right, wow. So I like looked at my itinerary and he had like, he knows all the maps and everything.
Yeah. Yep.
And so yeah, we did all that.
You did a Seriously app?
Yeah, dude.
I'll just tell you right now, I don't feel jealousy at all, but only because I did it last year. If you had done it and I hadn't, I would be boiling. right now. So
Totally
lucky
true.
for you. Nation, I guess we are not perfect people because we still are so mad all the time.
I feel like the Two Gomers podcast, dude, we've been like just letting our guard down so much more. I think it's actually important for a friendship to
Yeah.
be able to say that stuff.
Can I
Like we've
tell you,
said, and yeah,
because I did it last year, I could not be happier to hear this news. I'm
yeah.
so excited to see that episode.
We had so friggin' much fun. You're not gonna believe the cereal he did. I hope the girls don't listen to this. I'm sure they don't listen to this because they don't even know how to get to the
Oh, you're gonna
podcast.
try to surprise them.
Yeah. So Lily,
Great
they know
idea.
I saw Alex, and
Okay.
we were having dinner the night after I got home,
Mm-hmm.
and Lily goes, "Did you record a Seriously episode?"
Did you have to
And I
lie?
just flat out lied, dude. I
Good.
feel
Sometimes you just
horrible.
gotta. Nope, nope. It's a good lie. This is a good lie
Okay.
because it's the payoff is gonna be huge when she sees you on her favorite YouTube show. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
oh gosh, I've had goosebumps since you told me. I'm so happy.
I can't believe how
Amazing.
good his setup is.
It's
He's
so
so
good.
good. We had so much
So
fun.
pro. Yeah. Honestly,
Uh,
he makes us look like amateurs.
well, yes and no.
Okay.
His 4K video, yes. His teleprompter and his writing, yes. Except for your writing on Perfect Movie is equally as
Maybe
amazing.
just because he can get his act together when it comes to visuals, and we're like, I
Yep.
don't know, let's just record you. It's not our main thing. We're an audio medium.
No. We're an audio medium. He was
Yep.
laughing. He was like, "How big are your files? Like your podcast files?" I was like 150 megabytes. He was like, "Oh, what?" He records 4K video from like 3 different angles.
We're talking gigs and gigs and gigs, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But yeah, just super proud of him. Love
Yeah.
him. It was so great to see him. And bonus,
Mm-hmm.
Josh and his wife Irma
Mm-hmm.
also came to that same concert.
Yeah.
Patreon Josh.
Josh
And
texted me a picture of you, of the six
oh,
of you guys, or the
nice.
five of you guys. I guess Aaron wasn't in it, or was she? I
She
think it was
might have
Alex and
taken the
Aaron,
picture.
Josh, Irma, and you were in the picture that I saw.
Oh, right, because Aaron wasn't there, obviously.
Right.
Yes, it was
Oh yeah,
great.
duh. It was in California. Sorry,
Right.
brain fart.
Yep.
Yeah.
So great to meet Josh in person, to
Mm,
hug a member of the Gomer Nation that we've never met we've never met Lindsay,
in
right?
person. Never met
Yep.
Jason in person.
Never met Jason. We've never met Kevin. We've never
Met
met
Annie.
Scott. Yep, we've met Annie. It was as cool. It was just as cool as that. Love meeting Annie. Haven't met Annie's baby. Met
Oh yeah.
Mark.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't met Kevin. Did I say that?
It's so
We've
good to
never met
meet
Gene.
listeners. It's so
Oh
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean
How was the
Cindy.
how was the hug?
Scott. Okay, there's a million. We could just
Yeah.
keep
How
going.
was Alex hug? How was Josh hug? How are
Alex
you
hug.
rating these hugs?
Amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
haven't seen Alex in. I mean, we were trying to think of the last time we hung out for more than a couple hours.
Yeah.
I think 17 or 18 years.
I'm speechless. It's such a long time. Is it? Maybe it's not. I mean, when I think about how old my kids are, I'm like, it actually isn't that long a time. But that's a long time not to see somebody in person.
I think it was New York City is the last time we had like a sleepover,
Wow. Sleepover.
fringe hour hang time.
I love that. Yeah.
And like literally, dude. Yeah, speaking of visual media, like look how small my head is right now when I do this. It's so dumb. Like our video sucks, but you should still subscribe on YouTube.
Yeah. $13.1 a month and you can get Anthony's pinhead.
I have been thinking about actually buying one of those. There's those new because my computer is so old, the
Yeah.
video quality sucks, and it's really far away. But there's those little laptop cams that are high def and look super good. I was thinking about getting one of those.
Yeah. Probably won't though.
Probably won't, and I also should just clean my room.
Okay, can I just give you a real quick thing that's given my life? I'm very jealous of all that stuff. No, I'm not. I'm really happy, honestly. I don't feel jealous at all. It's probably because I did it with Alex and we were just in Vegas together. And so I'm
Yep.
like, spread the love. Um,
Totally.
I have a list of Netflix documentaries that have been amazing, but
Mm.
I'll just do
Okay.
one because we're out of time. And
Okay.
I'm gonna do this one because I know we've both seen it.
Okay.
It was this The Greatest Night in Pop documentary
Oh man,
on Netflix.
so
Just
good.
kind of like it showed up. I don't know if it was like this for you and Aaron, just kind of showed up in the uh suggested for you feed.
Yep.
Jessica and I were just kind of like sitting on the couch and we're like, let's watch that. What it is a documentary about the taping of We Are the World.
Uh-huh. Yep.
We are the children. And what it actually is this like it's first of all so fun. So
Yep.
it goes down easy, this
Yeah.
documentary.
Yep.
Um, and it's kind of like I was like, this is like the Avengers Endgame of
Mm.
early 80s pop stars.
Yep.
It's kind of a miracle they pulled it off.
Right.
Lionel Richie was it Lionel Richie is kind of like spearheading the whole thing.
Yeah, he did, and he wrote the song with Michael J. or
Michael
Fox.
Jackson.
Michael J. Fox. What? Michael Jackson.
Well,
What?
Dan Aykroyd is there for some reason. So
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if also Michael J. Fox was there.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, he and Michael Jackson wrote the song. There's some pretty interesting Michael Jackson stuff in it.
Yep.
Um, there's that one scene where he's just singing and you're like, I get it. He's just kind of
Yep.
singing, practicing. He doesn't know that he's being recorded.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I mean, he's a very problematic person, but when you hear him singing just kind of on his own and just kind of casually, you're like, oh my gosh, this is why he's the greatest pop star ever. Um,
There's no auto tune on that thing, like
he's
there is
like
for a lot of pop
a
stars
human
now.
auto tune.
He sounds incredible.
So
It's
then
amazing. Yep.
they get like what is it? Do you think 40 of like
Yeah.
the most 80s people you've ever seen in your life in this room,
Yep.
including wait, who is it? Bob Dylan?
Bob Dylan. Yeah.
I would say Bob Dylan stuff in this documentary is worth the price of admission. I'm not even going to spoil it at all. We were
Right.
like ROTFLing.
Us too, dude.
So I did not see that coming.
Nope.
But just what it took to get
Yeah.
him to sing in any way that would even sort of fit. Just he looks like such a moron.
He's just like in the back, like everybody's smiling and dancing, and he's just standing there.
Like,
Oh man.
I just like before you know they're gonna focus a little bit on him. I kept saying, Jessica, look at Bob Dylan, look at him back there.
Yeah. I know, dude.
It was such a fun watch.
Yeah.
Like, and I was as I was watching it, I was like, put in the note in my what's bringing me
Yeah.
life because I just got a lot of life out of watching this documentary on Netflix, The Greatest Night in Pop. Give it a watch. You will not regret it.
Mm.
It's short and sweet,
Yep.
never a dull moment.
Oh man. And
Kind of
also,
inspiring.
oh, so inspiring. I loved the story. Lionel Richie was so amazing hosting it and telling
What
the
a
story.
stud. What a
Yeah.
guy.
Oh my gosh.
So
Yeah.
awesome.
And then also just seeing all these people as they come together
Yeah.
and they're all nervous to be there. It's like these icons that would sell out stadiums, but they're like, "Oh my gosh, there's another one. There's another one." And so they're all there's it was just so
it was
interesting to
touching
watch. Yeah.
in that way. They all
Yep.
signed autographs for each other.
Yeah.
I mean, you got
Yep.
Huey Lewis is there, and Billy Joel is there, and like I said, Michael Jackson, and um, is Tina Turner in there? I mean,
Yeah, I
like
can't remember.
you can't even believe the
Yeah.
star power in there, and they're all kind of starstruck with one another, and
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh
You
man.
guys got to watch it.
Wait, who's the blind dude? Here, I'll edit
Stevie
here.
Wonder.
Okay. Yeah, okay. There was Stevie Wonder
Mhm.
was there, and they were all like everybody was starstruck when he came in,
I mean,
right?
that's the thing. There are these absolute icons that show
Yeah.
up, and people are like, "It's Stevie Wonder,"
Yep.
and we would be saying the same thing, but like everybody in the room is also saying, "Can you believe that we are in the same room with Stevie Wonder right now?"
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was pretty cool.
That was amazing.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. Listen, we want to know, listener, from you about what you think about streaks, what you think about what's giving you life, any Gomer's tips you have about shopping. We want to hear it all. The best way to get a hold of us and follow us is go to Instagram. That's Two Gomers on Instagram. Our link tree is in our bio with all things linked to Gomers there. You can call us on the Gomer phone. That number is
608-622-7669. That's 608 NBA Pony.
Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe or follow us on whatever podcast app you're listening to right now. Thank you to Davis for our music, Jason and Eric for our graphics, Adam, our webmaster, and Lindsay, our social media maestro. And thank you especially to our Gomertrons who subscribe to our second podcast, The Bonus Disc, on Patreon. Not only home of our monthly movie show, Perfect Movie, where we just covered Return of the Jedi, The Godfather, and another movie in that sphere, Happy Gilmore, but extra episodes like 2024 resolutions, Perfect Movie Robot, our in-depth report from Sphere. Speaking of Sphere,
I see your poster up, dude. Looks
oh,
so good.
I put my YouTube poster up. It's
Looks
behind me. We went to
amazing.
Sphere in Vegas, as we have been talking about. We have a whole episode on that. Plus, for 13.1, folks, video evidence that we were there.
Yep.
And if you're a 13.1er, you can see my new haircut.
Oh, yeah.
So listen, up to 4 bonus episodes per month, you can see our haircuts. All that and more is at patreon.com/2gomers. We welcome your support and we thank you.
Awesome, dude. Well, that was super fun to chat about this. I can't wait to try out this app. And let's get some streaks continued, started, going.
In
maybe
whatever
stop
way
some,
is healthy
maybe
for
start
us.
some. Yeah.
Stop or start. Yeah. All right, dude. Great app.
Super fun, man. And remember, everybody, if we can dig deep on these core issues and talk about them and find out what works and doesn't work, you can too.
And happy running. All right, great.
Sweet, dude. You got to go.
I do. All right, let's stop
this.
that.
1, 2, 3, stop. Great job, man. So fun.
I'm going to stop this too.